Hey everybody, today we're going to be working on our cancer lecture, so please make sure you are on page 10 in our chapter packets. So before we get into this cancer topic, I want you guys to think about your daily checklist. What do you guys check before you leave the house? Do you make sure that you let your pets in? Do you make sure that you double locked the back door? What about checking what you have on your person? Meaning, do you have your phone? Do you have your keys? Do you have your wallet? Do you have your Chromebook? Do you have a charger, your backpack, your lunch? This whole checklist. Now, you might not have this little handy dandy notepad here, but it's something that we go through on a daily basis before we head out for the day. Because we know that if we don't, we're going to run into problems later on throughout the day. If I forgot my laptop, I won't be able to participate in class. If I forgot my house keys, I'm not going to be able to get back in my house. If I forgot my phone, well, your day's pretty much ruined if you don't have your phone, right? But so when we have these checklists, it's to prevent us from having a harder time later on throughout the day. Other professions have checkpoints or checklists, like people who build houses. Did they put the electric in correctly before they put the walls up? They make sure that the plumbing is ready before they put the floors down. So we have these checklists for ourselves to make our lives easier, to make sure that we don't have a harder time later on throughout our day. Now, not only do we have these checklists for our material possessions and things like that, but our cells have a checklist as well. So when we talk about our cells, we talk about the cell cycle. If we look over here, these first three sections, G1, S, and G2, this is all part of interphase. Then we have the M phase of mitosis and cytokinesis. If you notice, we have these little stoplights, and these stoplights are saying, hey, we're going to stop here and make sure everything is ready to go for the next phase. Now, this is done by what's called regulator proteins called cyclins. So if you notice cyclins is written in red, you guys will be writing down everything that you see in red in your packets. So these cyclins are actually going to bind to an enzyme called cyclin-dependent kinase, also known as CDK. These CDKs are they control different activities. So at these stoplights, these are our checkpoints. So during G1, we are going to have a checkpoint. This checkpoint is saying, okay, is everything good right now? Cool. All right, I'm going to signal to S phase and say, hey, you're up next. Get ready to replicate or copy that genetic information. During S phase, we have another stoplight to say, all right, we're going to stop and check, make sure our DNA is copied correctly. Are we good to go? All right, I'm going to signal on to G2, and we're going to continue on through this whole process until cell division. Now, this is a great opportunity to make sure that everything is going right. But if something is going wrong in our cells, well, it's okay because we have these checkpoints. So these checkpoints are built in to monitor just that. They're checking to see if something goes wrong. So not only are we using these proteins and enzymes to determine if something is going wrong, but those spindle fibers that are within the cell that help pull the chromosomes apart during anaphase, those spindle fibers also have checkpoints built in saying, okay, is everything going good? And if something is not going good, we can usually terminate the cell cycle, and that cell will not replicate. However, if something goes wrong and it gets past that checkpoint, that is where we have an issue. And that's where cancer comes into play. Now, when we talk about cancer, this is a picture here. This is actually a cancer cell splitting into two. So it's taking one cell and it's actually going through the cell cycle or cell division. It made a copy of itself, and that cancer is going to start to spread. So when we talk about cancer, we first need to look at the regulation of the cell cycle, which means we have in our body certain things that initiate or start the cell cycle or cell division. External factors, this includes physical and chemical signals from our body, and then growth factors. These are proteins that help stimulate cell division to say, okay, go ahead and get started. So when we think about factors that regulate cell division, we talked about this earlier in the chapter. These things include Our bodies are growing, so we have to have more cells being made. Our body needs to be repaired or healed because it got a cut. So more cells need to go through cell division in order to help grow that new skin that we just tore open because a piece of paper cut it. And then finally, some cells just get old and die and they need to be replaced. Now, if we take a look, we have normal cell growth. So if you guys look at this picture here, this is normal cell growth. This is just a petri dish, a little glass dish. And these little whitish colored circles, these are our cells. Now, if we were to grow cells in a petri dish, what will happen is the cells will grow and grow and grow. And then once they start touching each other, they're going to be like, oh, okay, I'm running out of room. And they will stop dividing. They're only going to form a single layer, meaning they're not going to start growing on top of each other all crazy like. They're like, all right, this is all the room we have, so we're going to stop growing. If those cells start to die off, if those cells get damaged and need to be replaced, well, then more will grow. But again, if there's not enough room, they're going to stop. So if we think about the classroom, if I only have 10 desks in the classroom, normal cell growth would be, okay, 10 students will come in, those 10 desks are full, no more students can come in. However, we're talking about cancer, and cancer is anything but normal. So cancer is basically mitosis gone wrong. And when cancer occurs, we get what is called tumors. So tumors are actually cells that are made through out of control cell division. So if we take a look here, normal cell division, we have a healthy cell, it duplicates or it makes a copy of itself, so then we have 2. This cell is like, all right, I'm gonna go through cell division, it makes a copy of itself, but that other cell, something happened and it is no good, that cell is damaged. So that cell's like, hey, I'm gonna try to replicate and make a copy, and oh, it cannot happen. That cell will die. It will go through a process called apoptosis, which we'll talk about later in this lecture. So this top one is normal cell division. This bottom one, boom, we got 4 cells that are all damaged. Something is going wrong. Well, guess what? They're going to replicate, and they're going to replicate and replicate and replicate and replicate. So basically what's happening with a tumor is these cells were not told to stop growing. They just keep growing and growing and growing. That's why we say it's made through out of control cell division. It doesn't know when to stop. The checkpoints, they are not working. So when we talk about tumors, we actually can talk about 2 different types of tumors. The first type of tumor is known as a benign tumor, which is just an abnormal mass of normal cells. Now, a benign tumor is not cancerous. I know when I had my one dog, she was a little bit older, and she would get these lumps on her body, and they were tumors, but they were just what we call fatty tumors. So some of her fat cells just kind of started replicating for no reason. Again, the checkpoint didn't catch it, and it just kept growing. But again, they were normal. So just because you have a lump or something like that doesn't necessarily mean that it's cancer. Now, a benign tumor does not spread, meaning it's going to remain in one spot. So I might have a lump on my arm or a lump on my side or whatever the case may be, but this is just a mass of normal cells that is going to be staying in one area. The other type of tumor you can have is known as a malignant tumor, which is a large mass of cancer cells. Now, if you've ever taken Spanish or French, you know that the word bad in those languages is mal, M-A-L. So mal or malignant is bad. Okay, this is a cancer cell. Malignant tumors do have the potential to spread and break away. So if we look here, if we start off with this cancer cell, it starts to replicate and grow. A malignant tumor can actually break and spread to other parts of your body. We've heard this happening where someone starts off with lung cancer and it spreads to their stomach or liver, etc. Now, cancer itself is a disease caused by the disruption of the cell cycle. This is what we call abnormal cell growth. So here we have that petri dish again with our normal cells. The red cells on the top, these would be our cancer cells. They don't care how many cells are in here. They're just going to keep growing. So before I mentioned if we had 10 desks, 10 students, that would be normal cell growth. Cancer growth is if I had 10 desks and then 40 students came in. They don't care. They're just going to be there. Now, cancer comes from normal cells that have damaged genetic information. Now, these cells, even though they have our genetic information, because they are damaged, they cannot carry out those normal functions. So if I have skin cancer, my skin cells are not going to function properly. We talked about cancer having the potential to spread. A malignant tumor can spread to other parts of the body. This is known as metastasis, or we can say that the cancer has metastasized. So basically, this is when cancer is spreading to other parts of the body. It does this by, if we look at this picture, it travels through the blood and can go to different parts. So it can go from the kidney up to the heart, etc. Now, things that can cause cancer, well, again, this is going to be by carcinogens, okay? So cancer is caused by damage to our genetic information or our DNA. Carcinogens are known substances that promote cancer growth. So things like heavy smoking, heavy drinking, being exposed to certain chemicals. We also have skin cancer if we're not using sunscreen or we're not protecting our skin from the sun by wearing long sleeves or a hat or things like that. All of those things can be known to promote cancer or increase your chances of getting cancer. Now, we do live in the modern day, so if we do get cancer, this does not mean it is a death sentence. There are many different treatment options. Now, what we want to do, though, or what we want to know is that these treatment options do have a tendency to both kill the cancer cells, which is what we want, but they also can kill the healthy cells. So the most common form of treatment is surgery. And this is something that works really well because if it's surgery, we are physically removing that tumor from the body. We're taking the cancer out of the body. And if we take it out, it can't spread to other parts of the body. The other options, if surgery is not an option, or if you have surgery and it comes back, the other two options are radiation and chemotherapy. With radiation therapy, think about radiation therapy like an x-ray. If you've ever had an x-ray before, you've been exposed to very small amounts of radiation. So this is like radiation times 1,000. So what happens is they're exposing that part of your body to a high energy radiation. So basically like a super x-ray. So if I have cancer in my stomach, they're going to take this x-ray like machine, put it over my stomach, and basically use this super x-ray and expose my body to that. So basically if I was to get like an x-ray of my stomach over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, but high power. Now, this gets rid of the cancer cells because it kills any cells that are currently in mitosis. So if those cancer cells are going through mitosis, they are dead, gone. Fantastic, right? But we also said that these have the potential to kill healthy cells. So if I have other cells in there, that's going to be a problem because it's going to kill those other healthy cells. The other option is chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is they're actually using drugs through an IV. So they're hooking it up, it's in a bag, it drips down, goes in your arm, and then it goes through your entire body. Now, again, this gets rid of cancer cells because all the cells that are all the cells that are dividing, their spindle fibers are getting destroyed. And the spindle fibers is what's causing the genetic information to be separated and all that stuff. So if the spindle fibers are destroyed, our cell can't divide properly, which is good. But again, this is going through my entire body. That means all healthy cells that are going through this portion of mitosis will be destroyed. So I want you guys to think though, why do people who go through chemotherapy lose their hair and often feel sick to their stomachs? Take a second and think about that. Now, the reason this is because, like we just said, it's killing all of the healthy cells. So people lose their hair because it's killing off the hair cells. It's making them sick because, again, the cells that are in our stomach, they wear away a lot faster than cells that would not be in our stomach. Or excuse me, they wear away faster. And if I have my cells being killed off, my cells aren't replacing. So that acid is irritating my stomach more. Now, when we talk about cells dying off because of chemotherapy and radiation, that is a process that is caused by those two specific things. However, our cells go through this cell death or cell suicide on their own. Our cells are programmed to die off at certain points in our life. Now, this process, like I mentioned earlier in the slides, is known as apoptosis or programmed cell death. And this is actually something that happens in our body. So if we look at this center picture right here, this is what you looked like. Aw, look at how cute and alien-like form you looked like. Probably when you were about, 18 weeks old. Still in your mom's belly. Now, if you notice in this picture, this little fetus has webbed fingers. Now, I want you to look at your fingers now. There's no webs in between them. If we look at this picture on the left, the webbing between these fingers is there. Now, this fetus here went through apoptosis, and if we look at the picture on the right, this baby, yeah, he went through apoptosis because the webbing, as we were growing, that webbing in our fingers actually stopped growing. Those cells stopped dividing due to this apoptosis. Now, the people that have that webbing between their fingers still can usually get it cut, and their body just didn't stop growing that webbing. Some people have webbing between their toes and things like that. If you look between your pointer and your thumb, you'll notice there's still a little webbing right there as well. So though we can manually go through cell death with chemotherapy and radiation, do know that our body has this apoptosis, which is a programmed cell death. If you have any questions, please let us know. And if you need to rewind, go ahead and do so.